So in the previous session, we were talking about the water pollution, and about water pollution, what all did we speak in the previous session? We have talked about the thermal water pollution, right? Eutrophication, biomagnification, cultural eutrophication, all these aspects we have considered in the previous session. Now, in today's class, we need to study about this case study of integrated wastewater treatment. So what is this integrated wastewater treatment and where was it done? How successful was that? So let us try to understand that. See, wastewater including the sewage can be treated in an integrated manner by utilizing a mixture of artificial system and natural system. So what is this artificial system? What is the natural system? See, artificial system may include the physical separation of the contaminants, maybe filtration by sedimentation, maybe by microbial activity also, right? So maybe by the usage of reactors, maybe by the usage of the sewage treatment plants, that comes under artificial treatment. But natural process is an innovative approach to treat the polluted water that was for the first time successfully done in Arcata, a town called Arcata that is situated along the northern coast of California. So in California, there is a place called Arcata. So there, a mixture of artificial and natural system was successfully practiced in order to treat the water. This was called as integrated wastewater management or integrated wastewater treatment. So they collaborated with the biologists from the Humboldt State University and the townspeople, the people of the town. They actually created this integrated wastewater treatment process within a natural system. And what was done? See, in order to understand the process, or in order to understand the mechanism that they involved here, the cleaning which took place in two stages. One is the conventional sedimentation or filtration, and also chlorine treatment. So this is usually done as the primary treatment of the water in any water treatment plants, right? Sedimentation means we will allow the water to settle down so that the contaminants, if they are heavy particles, they will settle down at the bottom, right? Now the clear water, the pure water can be skimmed off from the surface. Or you can also subject it for filtration by allowing the water, by subjecting it to pass through sieves of different sizes, and thus we can also separate out the suspended particulate matter from the water. And chlorine treatment also reduces the contaminants present in the water, makes the water pure to some extent. Now, after this stage, lots of dangerous pollutants like dissolved heavy metals or dissolved organic matter is still present in the water. So it is understood to all of us that it may be very easy to clear off the suspended particulate matter and the sedimentary particles from the water, but it is difficult to remove these dissolved minerals or heavy metals which are dissolved in the water. So for that, what did they do? In order to remove that, an innovative approach was taken, and that was nothing but a natural process. So the biologists developed a series of 6 connected marshes. Marsh anta helidre, it is a land area which is waterlogged. Andre tumba neeru nilsodilla, neeru nintkondirutte, maybe some 3 foot. 3 to 2.5 to 3 feet or 3.5 feet ನೀರು ನಿಲ್ಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಗದ್ದೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಹಾಗೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಮಾರ್ಷಿ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಗದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಷಿ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಭತ್ತದ ಗದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಗ್ರೋನ್. ಎಂಥ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸು? ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ algae, maybe some herbs, some shrubs were actually cultivated there. So ಈ plants, algae, fungi ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು, say they create the biodiversity there, and these bacteria and fungi, if they are aerobic, they themselves will carry out the process of clarification of the water or purification of the water. These bacteria and fungi, which are aerobic organisms, they will involve in breakdown of the organic matter that was present in this contaminated water. Water has already been subjected to the physical filtration methods. Right now, they are being subjected to the natural method, where so water is on 60 hectares land tagondru, 60 hectares was distributed into 10 hectares each. Andre, it was divided into 6 land pieces of 10 hectares each. and each land had got its own territory, its own boundary. Adukondu ಮಾಡಿ they made the water to log there, stand there. And this water also supported different forms of life like different types of plants, algae, fungi, bacteria, and also because of the presence of all these things, the insects also started visiting those plants. Insects started visiting to catch different types of small phytoplanktons or zooplanktons, and birds also started visiting there, and it created a full-fledged biodiversity there, right? And this in fact actually helped these bacteria, algae, fungi. They helped in neutralizing and absorbing, assimilating the pollutants, right? So hence the water flows through the marshes and it gets purified naturally. So this was a very innovative approach, and this was done by the people of Arcata and in collaboration with the biologists from Humboldt State University. And the name was given to this people, the group of these people and people who created this marshy lands was Friends of the Arcata Marsh, FOAM, Friends of the Arcata Marsh. You need to remember FOAM full form, FOAM, FOAM, Friends of the Arcata Marsh. It can be one mark important question. Let us look at this video about the Friends of the Arcata Marsh. So you can see here, Friends of the Arcata Marsh, FOAM. This is also mentioned in the textbook, and you need to remember the full form of the FOAM. So the aim of this FOAM was to treat the water in a mixed way, that means artificial and natural way, and that the credit of carrying out such a process was first given to FOAM. It was in Arcata in California, along the northern coast of California, right? So moving on to the next slide, ecological sanitation means, see, this is one more thing, one more case study that we can consider here. See, we know that we waste a lot of water in the toilets, right? And we need to do that because in order to keep the toilets clean, we have to use a lot of water. Otherwise, it will stink, and it also it could become a reason to spread different types of harmful diseases, right? But what if we develop the toilets that can be used without the water? So we can save very large amount of water if we invent the toilets that are not using the water anymore, and that has been made possible, and that is what is called as ecological sanitation. So it means, so again, one mark important question, ecological sanitation is a sustainable system for handling human excreta using dry composting toilets. See, these dry composting toilets have a vacuum system which will draw all the dirt, all the excreta, and no water is required. Usually in the aeroplanes and the trains which have been introduced in India recently, they are also using such kind of system. So in Indian railways today, they are not using the water, they are using the vacuum system, the dry decomposting system in the toilets, and that has reduced the water usage to a significant extent. So this is a practical and hygiene and efficient and cost effective. This is very important because we may think that it may be very costly and it may not be may possible to use in all situations, but it is actually cost-effective solution to human waste disposal. The key point to note here is that with this composting method, human excreta can be actually converted into it is recycled into very highly fertile natural fertilizer which can be reused in the place of chemical fertilizers. So this will also help to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers, and the same it can be used in the agricultural fields, which can actually be a very fertile natural fertilizer, right? So these are in working condition. According to the textbook data, the EcoSan system or EcoSan system toilets, they are working in condition in Kerala and Sri Lanka. So this is the data as per the textbook. That means it is an old data, but today this EcoSan has been implemented in almost all the states of India, right? So but you need to remember, EcoSan means what is EcoSan anta ಒಂದು question barbodu. EcoSan is nothing but ecological sanitation. You need to write the definition. EcoSan ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಾಗ ecological sanitation, EcoSan means ecological sanitation ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. You need to write what is ecological sanitation, and Kerala and Sri Lanka ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, these are working states, these are working places of EcoSan. Means EcoSan are existing in working condition there. Now moving on to the next type of waste, that is solid waste. Now we will talk about the solid waste in the next class.